If you ask me how I felt about life right now, I'd probably say I felt stuck. Like, all the motivation in the world couldn't get me to just get up and do what I really want. And I mean that literally. You could shoot me with a motivation ray Harley Quinn style, and I'd still sit on my ass doing nothing.
Oh, what'd that do?
I don't know.
But why is this? Obviously, there isn't one easy answer. A lesser YouTuber would probably tell you that there's nothing wrong with me, and find a flowery way to tell you that I just needed to suck it up and get a job. But instead, I really want to evaluate this. This feeling has manifested itself in many different ways throughout my life. When I was in my late teens, I just wanted life to be like a montage. All the mundane things get skipped over. I get to do a total of maybe 5 reps of 4 different exercises, and then suddenly I'm jacked and ready to fight the bad guy. Or, have enough energy to clean my room. Lately, I've been scrutinizing every task far too closely. Like, I can't help but to think of every motion, every muscle twitch, every breath needed to perform a task. So, of course, I never do it. My apartment remains utterly disgusting, my teeth remain unbrushed, and my cat silently judges me from the floor behind me as I write this. And as I record it. But this reminds me of a story. This is Achilles. And this is a tortoise. Let's call the tortoise Jonathan. So anyway, Achilles, for some reason, has beef with Jonathan. Maybe he said something about his mother. So he challenges him to a race. But see, Achilles, he's a little cocky. So he says that John can have a head start. But he quickly realizes he has a problem. Let's say during the head start, Achilles lets Jonathan get halfway to the finish line. So then he starts running to catch up with him. Achilles gets halfway to Jonathan, but by that time he's already moved forward. So then he cuts the distance down by half again, and the tortoise has moved forward again. Achilles gets halfway to him again, and again, and again, but he never catches up to him. And he certainly never passes him. I know what you must be thinking. Don't you know this is a thought experiment posed by Zeno of Elea trying to prove to his fellow philosophers and mathematicians that infinities couldn't possibly exist in reality? Well, my answer to that is nerd. Of course, this story isn't actually about overthinking and the paralysis from the inflation of tasks, but I'd argue this story is as much about mathematical and metaphysical quandaries as life is just about breathing, in that it's not. Achilles, having foreseen his inevitable failure at the hands of Jonathan the tortoise, would never compete in the race. Not knowing that his heels were fine, but his mind wasn't. To tell you the truth, I don't really have a way to spin this that's overtly, you can do it! All I can offer you is the absurdity of it all. Of course, Achilles would have won the race, the same way I, of course, can clean my apartment, and you can do whatever you're stuck on right now. Huh, that did sound pretty overtly, you can do it. Maybe we're pretty unreliable narrators. Whether when I'm narrating this to you, or when we narrate to ourselves. Could you imagine if, instead of trying to close the distance by half, Achilles wanted to travel twice as far as Jonathan had? Sure, by the time he doubled the tortoise's distance, John would have traveled a little further, but that would just mean that Achilles would have even further to run, even after he'd long finished the race. Selling yourself short means you will always be sold short. Giving yourself some grace, overestimating your limits, and pushing past those estimates still is the best way to break yourself free. Free from feeling stuck. Or, whatever. What do I know? I'm just a memey YouTuber guy. Did you see that Harley Quinn joke at the beginning? And you're trusting me? You see a guy that makes jokes like that and you think to yourself, now that's a guy that doesn't take his own advice. Anyway, thanks for watching.